Hi everybody, it's Lee Caraher, president of Double Forte, and this is video number 3 of the agency Ready Certificate webinar that I was on that I got disconnected from. And trying to answer the questions, I've got a lot of them that have come in since that day through LinkedIn. So if you are probably only getting this video because I'm sharing it with people who linked in with me, but I'm very happy to have you share this with other people and have them link with me as well and answer questions that I can answer for you about the career, etc. This is about me personally, I guess. Questions around what brings you joy in your work, and then over here, as a leader, what is the experience you work to create for your entry-level employees, and what do you love learning about an agency? Is it stressful, fun, exciting, or a combination of all? Okay, that's a lot of questions about me, I guess. I love my work, but it doesn't mean it's not stressful, right? I started my company in 2002 out of necessity because I am the breadwinner in my family, and my mom got sick. And I lived in California, she lived in Wisconsin, and she was given 4 months to live. And I knew that I could not stay. I was actually in the job hunt at that moment in time in 2002 after 9/11. That's a whole other story. And I was in a job hunt for in-house jobs because I'd wanted to return from the agency to in-house jobs. And my mom got sick and was given 4 months to live. And it was very clear that I could not take an in-house job at that moment. Today, in 2020, that might be totally different because we're all distance working. But at that moment in time, it wasn't going to be possible for me to work at either of the two jobs that I was up for and be in Wisconsin and participate in the care and love of my mom at the end of her life. She ended up living 4 years, which was a huge, huge gift. And so I started the agency thinking, I'm going to start the agency, help my mom. And in the end, I started the agency in San Francisco. In the first 4 years of the agency, I spent half time in Wisconsin helping my mom and being with my mom. So, when we started the agency, my partner and I, Dan Stevens, who has since left the firm twice, long story, we decided we wanted to start a firm that we liked, that was set up for all the things that we like to do and to mitigate the risk of the things that we disliked intensely about agency work and agency life. Because there really is a wide range of agency lifestyle between agency to agency, small to big, and it's all about leadership. It's who's in charge sets the tone. And I was very clear that whatever I did for myself, so obviously I set the company up so that I could be somewhere else and be the president and run the firm, that everything I did for myself would be available to everybody in the firm. Because I still like the idea of me doing things for, and people working for me don't have the same opportunity for flexibility that I do. So we set the agency up to cater to us, frankly. We wanted to be home by 6 o'clock on Fridays. We didn't want to work with jerks. We wanted to be interested in everything that we worked on. We wanted to be where we needed to be, So we set the agency up 18 years ago, actually for this moment right now, 2020, when everybody is working from home. And it is a joy to run an agency when you are focused and when you have values that are helping you guide you through hard times. I started agency in 2002. That was at the sort of the front end of the horrible economy coming out of the NASDAQ meltdown of 2000 and then 9/11. And I lived in San Francisco, which really, San Francisco and New York really felt it the most, that NASDAQ meltdown. 80,000 professionals moved from San Francisco, Bay Area, in the year 2001 before June that year. That's a lot of people for a relatively small place. So having the values, understanding what you want to do, understanding what you don't want to do, understanding how to make decisions, not just chasing every dollar. That has helped us be as least stressful as possible. But of course, when your client is under duress, if you're working for a client who started out as a joy to work with and then had a management change and maybe they're a jerk, that's stressful, right? It's also stressful because public relations in general, like any career, is stressful. We don't control much, right? We don't control what's news. We don't control when a hurricane hits Louisiana, or when there's public unrest in Wisconsin because of protesters getting shot or police killing somebody or someone, we don't control any of that. So if you were going to launch a company on a day that a hurricane hit, well, maybe not a good idea. We don't control any of that. So not being in control of your destiny is challenging. However, we can controlling everything you can control in public relations puts you so far ahead. And that one thing has helped me not be so stressed out, helps our agency not be so stressed out when things don't go our way in terms of timing or in terms of what's going on in the world and what is relevant and what's not. It's exciting. For me, the best part of my agency is the people who work with me and who work around. And when I get an email from someone on the staff who tells me that somebody else did a good job, oh my God, that's the best day. It's the best day. I'm focused on making sure that Double Forte is a place that's important in everybody's career. No matter how long people stay with us, because people aren't going to stay with us forever. We're a small firm. It would be hubris for any company of any size to say, I'm going to hold somebody from 22 to 65. But we hold people for a pretty long period of time because we're able to offer lots of training and lots of opportunities in a full life and work-life balance opportunities. And as long as you do your work, I really don't care. But if you've left Double Forte and it's not important to you and you can't point to Double Forte as a place where you learned a lot, where you laughed a lot, where you got to have different experiences, that's what makes me stressed, frankly. So I'm in control of that, right? I'm in control of creating a culture. I'm in control of making sure that my behavior is as good as possible and that it models what the culture is supposed to be, and that when I do screw up, that I say I'm sorry. I'm in control of all that. I can control my behavior. I can control how I apologize when I go rogue, right? And that's the most important thing for me. So it does bring me joy. All of the parts bring me joy. The money doesn't bring me joy. Like making sure the bills get paid doesn't bring me joy. I can run the numbers. I run the numbers all the time. Everyone says, oh, crunch the numbers. There's no crunch button on my little calculator here. So it takes a brain to do this work. I don't love that part. But as long as I'm 80-20, loving the work, the stuff I have to do, I'm good. And I think that's, from my perspective, that is successful, right? One thing I think from a joy perspective and focus perspective and a motivation perspective is, no job is perfect. No situation is perfect all the time. I mean, there are moments of perfection, but no job is perfect. And I strive for the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, it's awesome. 20% of the time, I got to do stuff. And if I can limit that, crappy stuff, and here's how I limit crappy stuff. We don't work with jerks or that A word. We only work with clients who pay us, and they have to pay us ahead of time or we don't do the work. So I alleviate some of the things that cause stress in other businesses or other agencies because they have to work with anybody who comes across the transom. We don't. We leave a lot of money on the table every year because we don't work with everybody, but it's a trade-off. There's a trade-off for everything. Lots of money, lots of opportunity. Sometimes it's very manageable, and sometimes it's working 90 hours a week. That's also true for less money with better people. You know, you're gonna just, I wish I could tell you that it's monolithic. It's not. It'd make it much easier for everybody, that's for sure. So, 80-20 rule is the one I strive for. In 2020, that's been very challenging. This is the most challenging. So we started the agency in 2002 in an economic downturn. We went through 2008. Now here we, model change, everything. And then we've been through situations where we've lost a large account because of a management change on the other side. That was way too much percentage of our business, and so we had to replace it. Very stressful. And now in 2002, with the COVID situation, plus BLM situation, I mean, these are things that, thank God I had some chops in crisis management for a business, for my own business beforehand, because I wouldn't be wanting to be doing it the first time in this situation, because this is just so different than anything any of us have been through, at least in the United States. So, but here we are in August and we're still standing. So in the realm of possibility, 80-20 still holds. So it's a combination of everything, I guess. It's exciting when you win. It's exciting when people do well. It's exciting when, you win a new account or you get a hit or, your program does what it's supposed to do. Those are all exciting things. But it doesn't come without the stress of a business as the leader to make sure that you're making payroll and people are paying on time and people are advancing and you're creating an agency where you have opportunity for people and that everybody's learning how to be a coach, not a manager. I hate that word manager. You can't manage people, you can manage things. You're asking a lot of people. Sometimes it's like herding cats. And herding cats can be fun unless you have to get them inside by a certain time. Yeah. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. How about that? And here I am still doing it. This career can give you a lot of joy. It's not easy, but it can give you a lot of joy. And once you understand how you work the best, understand yourself the best, understand, there's lots of things you can do to understand yourself, tests. You can take the Enneagram, you can do the MBTI, do strength finders. I mean, so many things to understand yourself so that you can put yourself in the best position possible in whatever the work experience is. The more you can control yourself, the more joy you're going to bring to your life, for sure. And that's doubly true in public relations. So I hope that answers your questions on that.